Hello everyone, this is Ashish. Welcome back to Momentum Podcast, and today again we are going to have a fantastic podcast that will make your weekend from good to great or from sad to good, whatever it might be. It will be better now. Here in this podcast, we talk about a lot of things that will help you enhance your career. Every now and then we have guests, but every now and then I like to talk on my own, and you like to listen when I talk on my own. There are a bunch of topics coming out from the things that I want to discuss, and also from your suggestions, your comments on community post, comment section, Instagram, all those good stuff. And I have compiled them to discuss. But before we get into any of those heavy stuff, I would like to start from something that influences each and every one of your careers and will definitely create a huge impact. And that is that John Wick copied Hitman 2. I'm serious about it. Now, jokes apart, just before starting this podcast, thought that, hey, did John Wick copy Hitman 2? And you know why? Because I keep my recording apparatus in a trolley bag, right? And I open and I got a feeling, hey, it's kind of like Hitman. It's just that instead of guns, I'm taking mics and stuff. And I thought that John Wick did the exact same thing. And then I could not come to a conclusion if that was really copying the same instant, because what we have is a former assassin, one of the best, who is in, what do you call that? Oh, I'm going to just forget about the best words to use right when I have to use it. Hiatus? Yeah, that's the perfect word. So, leaves the job for a while, for a couple of years, and then something happens and he has to pull out those guns again. And the exact same thing happened in Hitman Silent Assassin for Gen Z kid that existed. And no, Hitman 2 that came where 47 went to Bombay was not the first Hitman 2. Silent Assassin came beforehand. He pulls out his gun and goes to Sicily to save a priest. Now, what I want to find out is if that happened before the books of John Wick. I don't know. Is John Wick on a book? Let me just Google real quick. Or it's fiction or it's comic. Oh yeah, there's a comic, right? So if I see the chapter 1, John Wick chapter 1, which book or comic is it on? Original comic. I should just screen record it as well so that you get what I'm seeing. You see the things that I do for you guys, and you don't even hit like. That's outrageous. Okay, so now you can see my screen as well. All right, so original comic. What is it? Yeah, it looks like a comic to me. Okay, John Wick comic series. So what I'm going to find out is when was it first released, because we know when Hitman Silent Assassin was released, and we are going to get to the bottom of this because it influences all of our careers, man. Otherwise, just before that important job interview, you'll be wondering, hey, did John Wick come first or Hitman? And then that will mess with your career, so I don't want that to happen. You see, when I type Hitman 2, I see Hitman 2018 game. Dude, we are all heading towards a apocalypse. So let's do this one, Silent Assassin. And that was released in, well, I completed it in 2008. It was released in 2002. So that's fairly early. So when was John Wick comic series released first? It was released in 2017. Correct me if I'm wrong, but when we are looking at issues, the John Wick number 1 was released in 2017. Number 2, 1 month later. And number 3, a couple of 1 month later. Month after month. And when was the movie released? Let's see. John Wick chapter 1. I know that chapter 4 is coming. So the Google is going to right away display that. Okay, so I guess the movie came first. I have no idea. Hmm, what is it based off of? Influences. Okay. Director Chad Selesky must be Russian. Said influences John Wick includes ugly. Okay, point blank. Hey, they did not even mention that Hitman influenced them. Or maybe it did not. It's one of those like two people thought of the same thing at different times without knowing each other existed or something. But not to mention, like, is there anything if I search Hitman, former Hitman, other than that, do they ever mention the game? No, 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 no. It's just John Wick is a hitman, but we're not going to talk about a man 47. All right. So, let's just do like John Wick comic series. First comic, right? I want to see the first comic. It's definitely not on a book, I guess, even though they say chapter 1, 2, 3, 4. I believe it's like movie. Okay, John Wick comics. Yup, it started in 2017. So a boy 47 came before all of this, right? And let's go back to that one and let's see what the first comic is talking about. The November 2017 one? Yeah. Is that talking about like John Wick coming out of his hiatus and then starting the assassin work again? Let's check it out. Yep. So here it is. Synopsis says when a young John Wick emerges from prison and embarks up to the first epic vendetta. So it's like something that was before what they showed in the movies. Lethal Business. Okay. Wick's origins continues and no, this is something else. This is not. Hey, I'll need your help and maybe I'm going to do more research on it. But it is fairly obvious that Hitman thought of all of it before that. And you want to see that scene? I'm going to just show you. What was that? Hitman 2 walkthrough. I know that they're going to get into like the 2018 game again. And you need to check out the original legends. So this is it. Okay. So that's it. He finds out that someone abducted his friend and all, who is a priest, and then he goes to get his guns. Oh no. Hey Diana, this is Agent 47. Yep, this is his friend. Gets abducted and then finds a letter and then goes to this kind of warehouse. What is it? Okay, this is what you need to check out.
Put Diana on, she'll recognize my voice.
47? This is Diana speaking. It's good to hear your voice again. We all thought you were dead. You'll be pleased to know your skills are in great demand these days. You're almost a legend amongst our customers.
Diana, I'm not looking for work. I need some information on a Giuseppe Giuliano from Palermo in Sicily. What have you got?
Let me see. Giuseppe. Ah, yes, I've got a fact file. Giuseppe Giuliano, aka Don Guido Giuliano. Capo of one of the largest, oldest and most influential mafia organizations in Sicily.
I need detailed satellite surveillance on his residence and info on security and access routes. And keep an eye out for a priest. He's a friend of mine who was kidnapped.
A friend? Have you gone soft, 47? Besides, we don't believe in handing over information for free.
Pure capitalism.
You're going to pay us back. I've heard that you're extremely wealthy.
Yes, I know. I've heard that rumor too. It's not true though. But I'm sure you can suggest an arrangement.
I'll pull a few strings and see what I can do.
Dude, this music is so like motivational, but you get the point, right? So look, he takes out his guns from beneath the floor. Okay, The only thing that happened differently in John Wick is like he broke the concrete, right?
Should be a simple operation.
A mission?
Exactly. If you accept, I might be able to give you the requested information very soon. What do you say, 47? Still sharp enough to handle a job these days?
Oh yeah. Oh, he doesn't even answer that. Look, if you're a real badass, you don't even answer. Just go and kill some people. Oh, he really did not answer that, man. I just want to like, if there's some available like John Wick finds guns or something. What is that? Uh, breaks. Basement, yeah. Breaks basement, yeah. Yup. It's just that the direction is better, and they got this guy from Game of Thrones and also the guy from Matrix, but does the same thing, kinda. Infographic did once the comparison between like who would win if 47 was against John Wick, and what they concluded is that 47 will win because John Wick is too emotional, man. He finds a puppy dead and he goes and kills like 100 people, right? Well, 47 goes and does his contract, man. But this is interesting because John Wick doesn't answer either. Let's see this.
Seem to be fate. Or happenstance or just bad fucking luck caused them. John? Let us not resort to our baser instincts and handle this like civilized men to move on.
Look, he did not answer, just like our 47 over there. They definitely had inspirations. You better put that on your Wikipedia page. But now that that's out of my system, I think we all can come to an agreement that 47 came before, that scene came before, and everybody forgot about it. Maybe there's a conspiracy that's the reason why they had a Hitman 2 again. But I'm not gonna forget because that's associated with my childhood, man. All right, so that's pretty much about it to certify this fact. Now we are going to get to some real good questions that you guys have been putting down in the comment section. So let's look at this one, and also like put your opinions down in the comment section. I would love to know, and I'm going to cover it in the upcoming podcast because every now and then we like to have fun. This weekend, man, we are supposed to have fun every now and then. Now I will get to this question in front of me, but before that, there was one opinion that was placed. I had a whole podcast episode on gaming, right? I talked about my experience with gaming and how it is good and bad at the same time. And there I talked about this little part, which was with online gaming, right? And I said that whatever I'm talking about, the goods with the gaming that you you get to experience different worlds, is associated with offline gaming, the story mode, the campaign mode, but not really with the online gaming that is multiple folds more addictive, and you don't really see the worlds. You just like kind of play against each other. And some people had very good argument down in the comment section that it helped me to get a sense of competition, and I competed with other people to kind of accomplish this one particular target of winning a game or shooting more people or something. And online gaming is good for that. Well, I do not disagree with that, but here's a little bit of my argument. If you want sense of competition, you can get it from anywhere else as well. You can get it by playing sports as well. You can get it from any kind of academic competition as well. But the one thing that gaming brings that others don't is that you are physically, in a digital fashion, navigating through different worlds, and you're experiencing story while you're at it. And when that combination happens, it is multiple folds better than the experience that you get from any movie or a TV series. In that sense, video games are unique. Sense of competition, I get it, One thing that you'll have to accept is that gaming is not really a skill until unless gaming is your career. So competing will not help you hone a skill. It will help you to develop maybe a competitive nature. I agree with that, but I've never done that. So I don't really know. But I would like this discussion to continue. And if you want to follow up, put it down in the comment section. And I do read all these comments. Now, coming to this question by Wabhav Kolhe, there is a newly introduced branch, artificial intelligence and data science in engineering. What's your POV about demand in future, and how does field role in the new tech era as competitive to the computer science? Oh, definitely, it's a booming. I think the artificial intelligence or other branches like data science, these are the new computer science engineering, the computer science engineering of the second decade. Second decade of 21st century, that is 2011 to 2020. What we saw, we are seeing a replacement of that in a specialization of computer science engineering, which comes with like data science and artificial intelligence. And as you might be knowing, now there are BTech courses on this. But funny enough, or coincidentally enough, I was talking to one of my professors who took classes of mechanical engineering of us back when I was undergraduate. I was talking to him right yesterday, and we were talking about the same thing because he's still a professor. And he was talking about how the number of people who are pursuing mechanical engineering is dropping significantly, and how these new branches are having a lot of candidates. But we were also talking about like what is the longevity of this, and that has always been a question for IT or computer science engineers as well. Like how long this is going to last, like are we really looking for a long career? Now you might be saying that you need to just keep on learning. Yeah, I got it, I got the point. But if you keep on learning, well, you will obviously have good career. But is it like modular? Did you start with mechanical engineering and then built it up a little bit into design engineering or thermal engineering, and then built it a little bit and specialized towards space science and engineering, and built it a little bit specialized into combustion and propulsion, and then built it a little bit and then focused it into like specialized engine instability in rocket engines, right? So is that modular? Like are you building in a structural manner? That happens in core engineering. But in computer science engineering, I get it. Like if you have an idea of a particular program, well, that helps you to transcend into others. But the only problem with these software oriented career is that it is always going to be someday or the other automated. Let me give you an example. I started video editing in 2017. Okay, you'll see how these two connects. Now back then, even to do a single text animation, I had to do like, okay, at t is equal to 0, the text is supposed to be here, and t is equal to here, text is supposed to be here, the brightness is going to increase, the opacity is going to change. And after doing all that for half an hour maybe, I made a text animation. Today you drop it and that text animation is done. Earlier we used to have like a text, and if I want the text to be moving with me, I'll be doing like at frame by frame, I'm going to move the text and the animation is going to happen. But now there are like, you drop one and it will just follow my head, right? So, or zoom out and it will also zoom out, and it will feel like the text is right here, right? So these things are getting automated. This is just one example. Anything when it comes to computer is going to be written in a program someday or the other. For example, video editing is super easy now. You can go to websites and there are literally websites which will do 90% of the editing for you. There are websites that will do the animations for you. They'll do those like talking heads and animation and all for you. So I'm thinking like, how long is it going to take till these artificial and data science and all, they are going to be automated into a program? Like someone is going to create a program which is going to be like, you can buy it and you don't need an engineer anymore for you to do the coding, right? And also the other part about this is that it is really really quick to learn. And I have seen a lot of like even people who did 4 years of mechanical engineering learning these skills in a year. And I don't think the opposite can happen, because I've seen a lot of people from physics discipline, maths discipline, or even like non STEM discipline who have like sometimes little application of mechanical engineering. I've seen mathematics people having little application of fluid mechanics, and every concept is super alien for them. Like even what we studied in third semester, and they'll have to understand the physics behind it, and it's a little bit difficult, right? So when it's definitely a booming career, and I've talked about this before as well, like there are companies and organizations and even top institutes which are giving you right now attestations or certifications of these short courses, taking good amount of money, but also is giving you a job security and a certainty that you will get a job. The reason why they are able to do it is because there are a lot of jobs right now, and they can promise you that, and you get a job. It's fantastic, right? And you develop an interest, you keep on learning, you'll have an amazing career, there's no doubt, which is true for every other career. You keep on learning, you keep on growing, and you keep on having a better and better career. And that's true for mechanical engineering as well. I still need to learn a lot of softwares, I have to do a lot of new skills developed, I have to sometimes learn interdisciplinary things, and that is okay for everything. So if you're having that learning mindset, you're going to develop a career everywhere, anywhere. But the longevity is questionable because it is new, right? Mechanical engineering has been existing since the 19th century. People have been making steam engines, and now they're making cars. Then honestly, the concepts are not much different. Like you see Newton's second law 200 years ago, and we still use it till this day. That's what we used to find out the acceleration. That's what we used to find out the final velocity till this day. The entire space science and engineering, apart from a little bit of time mapping between where you are to the satellites, everything can be done with the physics before Einstein. Everything can be done with Newtonian physics. Everything can be predicted by the Kepler's law and the Newton's law. The Einstein only comes into the picture when you have to consider theory of relativity, because the way time seeps over here on Earth is different from the way time goes in the orbit because of the gravitational differences. But the basic concepts is so old. It has been going on for so long. Like even Einstein's theory of relativity is pretty old now. It was 1909. It's over 100 years. So we are still using it, and we have still not seen the next stage of physics yet. So it is very tested. But when it comes to like computers, when it comes to artificial intelligence, you can't even go back like more than 50 years to see any significant use of it, or any career at least, right? So I'm not saying that you should not pursue, but if you're asking me what is my viewpoint, well, this is what I think about it. I have no interest in that career, and so my opinion might be a little bit different. But if you find yourself to be interested, you see that itch in you that I want to learn, bloody get into it. Because one thing that I know above anything else is that if there's a new career which is booming, you want to step in right then. You want to be the best at it, so that your demand is exponentially high. Because when you dive in the right moment, they say it, right? If it is in the news, then you are too late. And right now it is just heading, is like same happened with the YouTube, right? In 2014-15, nobody knew what the hell it was, and people who jumped in right then are now standing at millions of subscribers. And people who just are starting up with 10 subscribers just cannot compete with those people. They have built an entire empire. They have people in the production team, in the editing team, in the advertising team, in the marketing team. They have created a whole company and network around it, right? Which a lot of time competes with like large television networks of the 90s and the 80s, right? You're seeing a lot of people having equal, if not more, reach than the big news channels. You see Joe Rogan having more reach than CNN, right? And that's just one person. And we are talking about a network. Like, what was that British network? BBC, right? That was there. Like, Winston Churchill used that to telecast his first day as prime minister. That was BBC, British something. I'm going to put the full form over here. And there are people today who started a YouTube channel like 14, 15 years ago and have more reach than that. Think about that. So that happened only for a single reason. People did what they wanted to do, and they did it regardless of the reward that they were getting at that time, regardless of the uncertainty of future. So that was a pretty long rant, but Vaibhav Kole, I hope that I answered your question. And that's the reason people love Momentum Podcast. We go unscripted, we go unbiased, and we get to the bottom of it. Just like we got to the bottom of John Wick versus Hitman. What do you think? Who wins against John Wick if there's a John Wick versus Hitman, right? My bet is always on 47. You can read it on the name of this YouTube channel. But you can't if you're on Spotify. By the way, this whole podcast is available on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, wherever there's an audio podcast, you're going to find it. Links will be down in the description box if you would rather prefer to listen to it. But why would you? Because you're going to miss my handsome face. But you are not going to if you are listening on Spotify, because now Spotify has a video version. Okay, your choice. Now I'm going to consider one more question. That is by Sik. All right, the name is so nice, you say it twice. Not my original, Madagascar some part. Moto. Now, if you find it worth answering, then kindly discuss it. Oh, sir, I have already considered it. Talk about your book. Okay, I will. Your motivation of writing a book. And what can you suggest to aspiring writers about writing better? As you are almost 21, 2 years old in your journey. Oh, now 21. I did not get it. Like, are you saying that I was 22 when I started writing this book? Also mention your differential. Or are you saying I'm 22 right now? In no way, shape or form 22, sir. So, I am 28, but I started writing it when I was 24, okay? And it has been a long journey. And some of you guys might be thinking that, hey, Ashish, why are you talking about writing? Some of you guys know that I've been writing a book for a long time. And I'm just going to answer your question of what do I think about writing as an art itself. Just before starting recording this podcast, I was writing every day, at least 2 to 3 hours. I do write. And I'm right now on the 5th draft of my book, and I'm going to do the 6th draft by winter, and then I'm going to start looking for publishers, hopefully. Now, talk about your book and your motivation of writing the book. See, the motivation of writing my book is just one. It is a story that needs to be told, and if I don't, this world is going to be deprived of that story. That's what I want to do. Second, for me personally, it helps me analyze my past. And although the book has fictional places, fictional names and all, it is inspired and influenced by my life experiences. And so I get to analyze what happened exactly. And I think people need to do more of that. Even if you're not writing a book, you need to every now and then look back and see what got you here, because a lot of times we are just heading blind and we are just running because of what happened yesterday, forgetting about what happened a year ago, which influences every decision that you're making today. So it helps me clear my mind, and I enjoy writing. So those are my motivations. I'm passionate about it, and honestly I want to make a career out of it. I have a lot of stories and a special way of depicting that. So I definitely want to build a career out of it. That is like my final goal. Your motivation of writing? Suggest aspiring writers. Okay. If you are an aspiring writer, and I've gotten a couple of comments like this before as well. Some of the followers of this YouTube channel has actually done this professionally as well. Like, they have written short films and all. Great. Some of them are writing books as well. That is great as well. What I would say is that like anything else, it's a muscle. The more you write, the better you get at writing. And that is another reason why I keep on doing drafts after drafts, because when I look at the first draft, what I wrote in 2018, 2019 was an utter garbage, right? But it was also real because it was the closest to the actual experience. The whole story starts in June 2017 and ends in October 2018. So it was the closest. So I got the real experiences to be put over there. But it's just that I was not a good writer at that time. So now when I look at it, the stories I keep, the way of writing I change a little bit so that not only me, but you can understand what I've written. So writing is a muscle and you need to do more and more. You cannot do the I wrote today and 1 month later I wrote again. And another thing is that there has to be a continuity if you're writing a book, because you cannot afford to forget what you wrote in chapter 1 when you're writing chapter 6, because your reader is going to read it in one go. So you have to invest a lot of time and you want to do it in large stretch of time. It's a full-time job. That is what I'm finding. It's like a lot of jobs that is artistic. It won't pay you until it's all said and done. But those are going to be tips from my side, what I'm learning. And that is why I make sure that I invest at least like 3 to 4 hours every day writing. And I want to have that continuity. And it's also like a very artistic kind of thing. Like, how are you going to relate things? How are the stories going to turn out? And how a person is going to read that. And in chapter 8, the person is going to be reminded, oh, there was a hint about it in chapter 2 or something. So it's a fabrication. It's like a painting. It's a whole art form that is like less and less people are doing. But for some reason it always shocks me, like, why are people reading books till this day, right? You would think that with the internet age and the video platforms, nobody would be reading books anymore, right? Why would you be reading books? Because you can get all the information in the video form, in the audio form. It's easier to consume. But after making so many YouTube videos, what I've found out is the best videos that I'm making, even the YouTube ones, are the ones that are the most well written. Because speaking is a good way of talking, but there is no filter to it. There is no check to it. There is no correction to it. And there is no time-oriented fabrication to it. Like, I cannot sit down for hours and days and think about exactly what I'm going to say, and that will be a scripted talk. But that's not what we are doing over here. That's not what we do when we talk in general. But when we write something, then we think about every aspect of how the reader is going to consume it, how I want to depict it, what is the mistake that I made, what I want to correct. That is why if you look at Jordan Peterson these days, like, Jordan Peterson talks about a lot of controversial things, right? And when he does that, and when he has like millions of eyes on him, he cannot make a mistake. Like, he can get sued for making a mistake. He's in that position. So nowadays you are going to see that he's not talking in an impromptu fashion, but he's reading out. And the reason for that is that it's well thought out. It's still his thoughts though. It's not like someone else gave him. He just invested time to think about it properly. And you should respect that when a person is talking about it after a huge amount of time is invested. Alright, unfortunately we are not going to be able to talk much right now, but there are like episodes after episodes of Momentum Podcast that you can binge watch. I have to go and catch a bus in 10 minutes. So I'll have to leave. But before I do, I'll have to remind you about this course, Art of Speaking, which will help you enhance your speaking and communication skill. If you feel that you're underconfident when you're talking in the language of English, if you're underconfident when you're talking in front of others, we got an array of tricks and techniques that you can learn from. Over 10 hours of lectures that will definitely cause results in the improving direction. It will help you because it has helped hundreds of other Art of Speaking students in the past. I'll leave the link down in the description box. Also, put your suggestions, opinions, have a sense of humor, and have a good time down in the comment section. and put your questions so that I can be discussing it in the upcoming Momentum podcast. My name is Ashish Ranjan. This is my time and hope you enjoyed it. I'll see all of you in the next one. Till then, bye.